Alright, hello there and welcome to another Starfield video. Today we're checking out a free mod. This is Mattells Hab Cockpits and Accessories by VM Roche. So Mattel has done some really cool stuff in the past. I'm just going to check, is this... Yeah, okay. So the mod author has done the... So we checked out the Cockpits and Bridge Crew series and the Solitude. Very cool mod. This one adds a couple of new items to the game. The main one being a kind of a cylindrical or a sphere. So yeah, let's go check it out. So yeah, I am on Xbox for this. So yeah, let's jump into it, shall we? All right, so we're in game now. We're here at the ship service technician.
Hey, what can I do for you?
What can I do for you?
Sure. How about it?
All right. So I've got my Frontier set up. So we'll kind of start at the start. There's a couple of... There's more items than I was kind of expecting. If we start at the bays, we've got a sphere landing bay with like a ladder that goes down. Then we've got a tall one that kind of sits a little higher. We've got a lift landing bay, and then a tall one, which is really cool. We've got a tile landing bay, which that looks very cool. So it's the tile the landers. Now, one thing I will say is these have like lander trust, so they're not well, they're a little bit in terms of like kind of vanilla parts, they're a little bit OP, but I think with shipbuilding I wouldn't really class it. And then we got tall one, and then we've got the ship bed 200 landing bay with a ladder. And I don't think we have any cargo. Yeah, we don't. Okay, so the cockpit, we've got a few. So we've got the Hab cockpit, and then we got the Hab cockpit with a brig. And then we got sphere cockpit brig, a lot of snap points. Sphere cockpit 2 brig. So what we're going to do is we're going to check this out real quick. I'm going to put this at the front. Get rid of you. This is our Hab cockpit. Let's go check it out, see what it looks like. So straight off the bat, there's things sticking out of it. That seems to be the cockpit part, or the... I'm not sure if you're supposed to put like a window on it. Let's look at it first, and then we'll potentially put a window on it. There is windows and stuff. Let's go check it out. All right, no, we don't need a window for it. That's kind of cool. Okay, so here's the cock. Ooh, this looks pretty nice. All right, so we've got industrial workbench, spacesuit workbench, weapon workbench, bed here. We got a bathroom. Very nice. We got a navigation console. Research lab. Pharmaceutical lab. And we've got, what is that? Artillery. So let's hop in the pilot seat. So it is a bit... She's a bit strange that you can... Let me hop in the pilot seat. That this is kind of sticking out. Obviously, I'm on Xbox, so maybe the mod author didn't test it for Xbox. Let me just really quickly go photo mode. Right. So as you can see, this is obviously sticking out. I'm kind of merging through it a little bit, which is a bit weird. Now, maybe if you put a window there, it won't be too bad. Exit. We're gonna go check the other ones, and then we'll be back. All right, so we're gonna try the brig one this time. I'm gonna put a window on it. So real quick, if we go to our structural pieces, we've got a clear porthole 4 with no lights, and then we got port, top, sphere cap. We got nova hull, sphere hull 2, sphere hull aft 4, bottom shell tops. We're gonna put a porthole with no lights. To see. Also, I do apologize. I'm sniffling. I'm not sick. I just my hay fever. All right, so that actually seems to. It seems like that's supposed to be the case with the window. Maybe you're supposed to put a window. Let's go check it out. Da-da-da. This has a brig. Oh, okay. This is quite cool. So we got our... It's kind of the same as before, except this time we got a brig. And then obviously we have the air. Let me see. What mode is it? Merging crew? Oh, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the other one on and we'll be right back. All right, so yeah, so I just put the normal cockpit on the first one, and it seems like you're supposed to put a window there just to make it kind of look less like uh, dainty.
Got anything
All
you
right,
need
so
to
now we're
offer?
gonna check
Sure.
the
How about it?
sphere bridge. That is. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, okay. There's a second set of bridges. Let's go back to the cockpits. So you got the sphere cockpit, the cockpit with the brig, and then the sphere cockpit too. Let's put this in here. So this looks very cool. There's a lot of snap points on the top, which is very, very cool. That's what it looks like from the side. I'm going to assume that there's like... that while it may be like a kind of a spherical or cylindrical, that it's just going to be the same kind of layout inside. Yes, it's the same layout inside in terms of these different pieces. And then obviously we got the pilot seat. Quite cool though, all the same. So I'm assuming it's just a Nova. It's just a Nova, like a 1x1 hab, and then they've kind of put the sphere or like the cylindrical thing over it. All right, so now we got the sphere cockpit with the brig. I'm going to put on some windows just to see what happens if we put some windows on the side. Put the clear. Starboard. All right, and let's check it out. So straight away. Oh. Okay, straight away that looks a bit okay. So from the exterior point of view, that looks kind of problematic. I feel like they're not supposed to. Maybe there's not supposed to be windows there. We'll check it though. Oh, okay. That's strange. Interesting. So the windows work fine interior wise. But if I photo mode, will let me photo mode. No, okay, so I'm gonna hop in the seat and we're gonna photo mode. Oh yeah, so the windows look fine in this mode, but for whatever reason, when you're outside the ship, let me exit and just show you again. When you're outside the ship, it was looking a bit. Yeah, so when you're like outside the ship, that's really strange. So it's like it's rendering the stuff without the windows. So like for instance, you know, like you have your well, actually, let me show you real quick. Wrong button. I apologize. So yeah, so like it has this like a shelf, and then you can see the cooking station the other side. Like if we go around, when you look in the see this, so you can kind of see them there. It's like the cooking station and like the bed, but like inside the ship, when you actually go in, they're not there. That's kind of interesting.
I need to talk with
Anything
you.
I can help you with? Okay.
Anything I can help you with? And then we're gonna check. So we're gonna use this is the big cockpit, the sphere one. Right, let's go check that one out. Again, let's see if the windows are... I'm assuming the interior is going to be all the same on these. Yeah, already I can kind of see... Ooh, there's probably supposed to be a window on the bottom. Again, the interiors are a bit jank. I'm going to put a window on the bottom very quickly and we'll be right back. All right, let's put a window on the top and bottom. And I'm realizing now that the window is probably not what you're supposed to put. You're probably supposed to put the other spherical pieces. So as you can see, looking in, it looks like the shelving units are there, but it's kind of weird. Because, like, normally, the way the game renders like ships and stuff and the interiors is like, is it renders them in kind of real time. That's kind of why, like, with merging and stuff, you can't, like, you couldn't, let's say, have a mod that makes it so that things sticking in don't appear. All right, so from the interior, it looks perfectly fine. Got a little workbench and stuff. And you're working on the research lab. Too tall. All right, so let's go and check out some of the other stuff, and we'll be back. All right, so now that we have checked out all the cockpits, the next we're going to look is the docker. So we have the sphere top. We're going to snap that in there. This is where, like, we start to kind of make the spherical stuff. Now, engines. Interestingly, we have a couple of new engines. So we've got the NG11s, which are basically these bad boys, but they're kitted for... So as you can see here, these just have a landing thrust of 1. These variants here are A-class, 3 power. They've got a lot of engine thrust, maneuvering thrust, a lot of a lander thrust, which means that realistically, you could just slap one of these bad boys in, and only one docker is allowed. Oh, that's on me. Whoops. Let me remove the docker. Let me lower you. And all modules must be below the landing bay. Be above the landing bay. What's not above the landing bay? All right, that's interesting. I'll have to fiddle with that in a moment. We'll be back. All right, so I think it's this landing gear itself isn't. So for instance, if we just go back to the gears and we use, like, say, the normal pinpoint 4G. Well, if we use the normal ones, it's going to be like, oh, you don't have enough. So yeah, so they work perfectly fine. But if you use these engine ones, they don't for some reason, and I don't know why. Do they need to be taller? Potentially? See, these are, it says they're powerful VTOL engines. So what I'm going to do real quick is we're going to just put a hab on top. Just normal Deimos hab real quick there. Why will you... What? What? Why don't you want to go in there? What's going on here? There we go. Now if I hire this... Oh, interesting. Very interesting. What if I delete these? Oh. Alright, so these seem to... Potentially the mod author has made these landing gear that they don't actually need to be level, which is kind of interesting. Like, if I try and put it down there, it's like, no, too low, but if I put it up here, it's perfectly fine. Obviously, these, if we look at the stats on these, we go back to these engines real quick, like, the very powerful, exceedingly powerful 1800. So we've got the port, we got starboard, and then we got, like, bigger ones, like, a lot bigger. These ones actually need to sit too high. Just gonna do a little quick flip merge. Again, too low. What's going on here? Does it have to be taller? Docker needs to be on... Okay, that's understandable. Let me put that there for a minute. Yeah, so it's weird. It's like these have to sit one above, so they're technically not functioning the way they should do. What I'm gonna do real quick is we're going to... Alright, so these give a top speed of 120, but they're see, the maneuvering thrust is very high, like way higher than I would think you even realistically need to have. And then we have, what is the difference in these? Oh yeah, we've got B class, C class, and they're just the exact same stats. And then we have these. These look quite cool. Let me see, do these function how they should or no? These are supposed to, so these sit there. Okay, these ones function perfectly fine. You've got 4, you've got aft. That's quite cool. Now these are bigger, like way bigger. Very big. These ones, you need to mount them Is that gonna just say, yeah, all things need to be below the docker? No, that's landing bay. No, these ones. These ones again are slightly bugged. They need to be higher, which is kind of strange. And then we have these ones again, and then C class, and then we have some of these here. These pinpoint 4G. Again, it's very interesting. So the mod author must have done something to make it so that these don't need to line up with the ground or with the, you see, they don't need to be in line with the landing bay, which is quite interesting. But see, part of the kind of the issue with it, or like the fact that like it's been modified, and you can, I'll show you better with these ones. But for some reason, they still, it'll be like, oh, too low or too high, which is kind of, yeah, it's very interesting. Again, I apologize for my very nasally voice. Hay fever is a bitch. But yeah, it's interesting. So these are like, they're quite cool. Again, they don't operate the way they're supposed to operate. We will try them out in a second. Let's really quickly. They're all the same stats. I'm going to use these ones because these ones are the only ones that actually kind of look cool. Or not look cool. These are the actual ones that like function. What's the error? It needs a fuel tank. Whoops. Give me my fuel tank. Alright, and then we're gonna put you back here. Alright, so we're gonna we're gonna check the docking port real quick, and then we'll take it for a little spin. I'm honestly not expecting a whole lot, because the fact that it's a weird one. So the mod author, like, clearly they know their stuff, because they've been, you know, they've made some awesome stuff. But setting the thrust rate and stuff really, really high, I don't know why they opted to do that instead of just kind of making it in line. All right, so there's a docking port. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, let's take it for a spin, shall we? Do we have unique? So they've merged in some smaller landing gear, or not landing gear. The small singular engines have been merged into them, which looks quite cool. Bum bum bum. All right. Let me put some pips in the engines. So we've got a base speed of 120, which is interesting given the fact that these are A-class engines. Boost speed is, oh dear lord. Okay, so the boost speed is very high. Very high. So that's something that's quite interesting, considering if we like look at the engines real quick. So the engine stats, like the maneuvering thrust itself is, I feel like the mod author probably put them that high because what they wanted to do basically is make it so that you don't need a crap ton of engines to have 100 mobility, which makes sense. Personally, I kind of would have preferred if they brought them more in line with the vanilla game, but like when it comes to shipbuilding, I can understand it, because like sometimes if you're trying to make a really nice ship, and let's say for instance using like landing gear that's not necessarily the most useful, you have to kind of merge multiple inside one another. So we've got all the landing gear itself done. So let's really quickly, let's check the, so we go to the bays now. We've got the sphere bay landing bay, or sphere bay tall. So let's put that on the bay. That looks really cool. And then obviously if we went with tall, all right, so if we go with tall, does it, yeah, okay. So if we go with tall, what is like determining how tall, like where it sits? Is it these? All right, let's go, we'll do the normal one first real quick, and then we'll go and check it. I will say this looks very cool. Red. Okay. This is really cool. Let's board. Alright. Very, very cool. Now let's try the other ones. Do.
Hey, what can I do for you? Sure, how about?
So I'm assuming the like where it sits is based on. Oh, there you go. Snap grabbing it is kind of a bit fiddly. What's going on? You worked a minute ago. Why are you now? There we go. Okay, let me. Again, I apologize. Oh yeah. So okay, cool. So maybe that's why the landing gear is so. I will say I do like this is so long. So we're gonna really quickly. We're gonna check the. That's probably why the landing gear.
Need some work done? Sure, how about?
I would assume that's why, like, see these like engines and stuff. Oh, maybe it's actually. Would it be because they're not technically landing gear? Maybe that's what it is. And then, so then underneath for the bays, we have, we also have the lift bay, which is like a kind of a smaller one. Again, I quite like how it looks. That in there, it's grabbing it's a bit finicky. Put that like under there. That looks. I really like how these look. These look very cool. All right. These are a little tiny. They're very cool. All right, in we go. So ladder bays like that is always something I've wanted. I'm glad to see it because I know the Crimson Fleet Rearm mod was like one of the first ones to add. Like for, I mean, technically, there's been probably a few mods that have added just like ladders, and then obviously we can make this bigger, like so. And again, it functions the exact same way. It just kind of lifts it a little bit like that.
Anything I can help you with?
Anything I can help you with? No. Now there's one here they added, which I really like. They're the tile landing bay ones, which I honestly I really like this because I'm a big fan of these tile like landers, but they don't get kind of used an awful lot because they're hard to kind of incorporate. But having it like as a landing bay is really cool. Now you have to crouch a little bit, like to, you know, if you want to get in, you can't like physically go in underneath it. But it still functions, which is nice. And then obviously we have the bigger one. So there's the bigger one. As you can see, you can actually get inside this one, which is very, very cool. Very nice. I actually really like how this looks. One of the things I'm noticing with like kind of the layout and stuff of the HABs is I think it's allowing you to make like a lot taller ships, which I really like. Oh, let's test what happens. Do they extend in when we've take off? I should have checked that. Good job, Crimson, you moron. All right, let's cockpit and let's take off. I'm assuming it's gonna fold in. That's not take off. I'm an idiot. All right. Cockpit. I'm assuming it's gonna fold up. Oh. Oh, it does fold up. Okay, it looks a little bit jank. Just a little bit janky. I'm assuming the other ones will do that too. They will fold up a little bit, which is very, very cool. Because I feel like that's one of the biggest kind of, can I just select the planet, please, game? One of the biggest kind of restraints when it comes to shipbuilding specifically is the hab placement, or the landing bay placement, because landing bays generally you could either have them, they have to be either underneath and they're one underneath, or you can have them like flush with some of them, you know, like for instance like the Taya one and the Stroud one. So having like ones that are like kind of, you know, you can place them and they can be like two underneath, like with these ones, is really, really cool. I know I covered another one yesterday or the day before yesterday, where like you can basically have them beside and stuff, which is really cool. Because like I think realistically, a lot of ships when you make them, they're just like the landing bay is always going to be quite flush, and like realistically, a landing bay like this would make more sense because you don't know where you're going to land, and like at the same time, if you're landing on like a super treacherous planet, like with a lot of dangerous aliens, the last thing you want is to have a landing bay where they can just walk in the ramp and straight in. Like I'm assuming most aliens can't use, or Xenos can't use ladders. Anyway, let's go check some of the other pieces.
Need some work done? Sure.
Need some work done? Sure, have at it. All right, so we've checked all of the bays. We did the cockpits, we did the dockers, did the engines. On the gears, we do have the pinpoint 4G landing gear. We have these that kind of copy and paste. So, oh, whoops. So you could, in theory, we could slap these there. You can make like a really nice. It looks kind of funky, but also, oh, what's the issue? Okay, ship's missing engines. That's fair. And then obviously we have the normal variants. And then hab-wise, so we have some of these. We have a sphere infirmary / bridge. We're gonna put that there. And then we have these are just different variants of them. We're gonna put them there just to kind of look at them. What's the issue? We need engines. All right, let's put some engines. Yeah, we'll just slap you there. Cool, why not? All right, let's go check these out. All right, so we're inside, and now we go ladder up. We got brig here. The door doesn't open. Oh, there we go. Aha. We got a brig here. Then we got like a little infirmary surgical bed. Oh, cool. You can sleep on that. We got a stool. We got a research lab. Very, very cool. And then if we drop down here, we also have it. I've placed it the other side too. Hello, Cora. Yeah, so it's similar layout. Surgical bay. Oh, whoops, surgical bed. Very cool. The doors. Whee. Quite like these. All right, let's check out what's next. All right, so now we have the only thing really left is these structural pieces. So we've got like the clear porthole with lights, no lights, and then we've got the sphere caps, so you can kind of put the caps on the top. We've got nova holes, which are just basically hull pieces, and then we've got sphere shells. Bottom 4. So I guess that's pretty much it. As you can see, like this is a very, very cool mod. I'm a very big fan of it. It adds a lot of cool new stuff with the spheres. Let me know what you guys think. There is obviously a little bit of a, I think there's like some slight graphical issues, like I was showing you with like some of the windows and stuff. For the most part, it functions perfectly well. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and catch you in the next one. Bye bye.